Who would have thought that the famous American host, Jimmy Fallon, who always appears cheerful and full of laughter on The Tonight Show, has a very emotional side? In an incident that shocked the international entertainment world, Jimmy Fallon was caught on camera sobbing when he saw two Chinese stars, Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, present at the funeral of the late senior actress Zhu Yuanyuan. Even more astonishingly, immediately after the incident, Jimmy posted a touching message on his social media that left millions of netizens both moved and wondering, what exactly is the deep connection between the American host and the Chinese actors? How could a Jimmy Fallon, who is known for his crude humor and always makes people laugh, actually cry hysterically at the sight of two young Chinese actors? Is there a big secret that the Hollywood and Chinese entertainment industries have been hiding? These questions are now burning the curiosity of millions of fans around the world, especially after the video of Jimmy crying was widely spread on social media and received mixed reactions from international celebrities. This unexpected turn of events began when Jimmy Fallon was surprisingly present at the funeral of Zhu Yuanyuan, a veteran Chinese actress who passed away at the age of 78. Jimmy's unannounced presence was enough of a shock, but what was even more surprising was his intense emotional reaction when he saw Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan arrive at the funeral. According to eyewitnesses, Jimmy, who had been standing quietly in the back row, was suddenly seen shaking and started crying when the two young actors entered the funeral area with their faces full of sorrow. Zhu Yuanyuan, who passed away due to complications from a disease she had been suffering from for many years, was known as one of the most influential actresses in the Chinese film industry. Her stage career that dates back to the 1960s has inspired generations of Chinese actors, including Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, who have both stated in interviews that Zhu Yuanyuan was one of their biggest inspirations for a career in acting. However, Jimmy Fallon's presence at the funeral raises a big question. How can an American TV host have such a deep emotional attachment to the Chinese entertainment industry? An eyewitness who was exclusively interviewed by local media described Jimmy Fallon as devastated from the start of the funeral. He stood at the back alone, wearing a black suit and sunglasses. At first, I thought he just wanted to honor the deceased without stealing the show, said Li Wei, a journalist covering the event. But when Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan arrived, his facial expression immediately changed drastically. She started crying and her hands were shaking. Some people around her turned their heads because the crying was quite loud. What made the situation even more emotional was when Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, who also looked devastated by Zhu Yuanyuan's passing, began to pay their last respects. The two young actors were known to have a very close relationship with the deceased, not only as mentors in acting, but also as mother figures who always gave them life advice. Wang Yibo, who was known for his usually cool and calm character, was seen crying silently while holding white flowers in his hands, while Xiao Zhan, who is known to be more emotionally expressive, couldn't hold back her tears and kept looking down during the ceremony. Seeing the two young actors in a devastated state, Jimmy Fallon, who had been crying earlier, was now even more unable to control his emotions. Several videos circulating on social media show Jimmy covering his face with both hands while his body shakes with tears. The sound of his sobs was even heard by several people standing nearby, making the already emotional atmosphere of the funeral even more heartbreaking. But what was most shocking about this incident was not Jimmy Fallon's crying at the funeral, but what he did after returning to the hotel. Just hours after the funeral ended, Jimmy posted a long message on his Instagram and Twitter accounts that went viral and was shared millions of times within hours. The post, written in both English and Chinese, contained a very touching message that surprised many people. This post immediately received tremendous attention from netizens around the world. In less than 6 hours, the post has been liked more than 2 million times and commented on by thousands of people, including several Hollywood and Chinese celebrities. What makes this post even more attention-grabbing is Jimmy's fluent use of Chinese, showing that he has a deep understanding of Chinese culture and language, something the public never knew before. Adding to the mystery of this incident is the fact that Jimmy Fallon has never publicly shown his interest in the Chinese entertainment industry. In various interviews and talk shows, Jimmy has invited several Chinese actors and actresses, but his interactions have always seemed professional and did not show deep personal closeness. This makes many people wonder, when and how did Jimmy come to have such a deep understanding of the Chinese entertainment industry that he could feel such strong empathy for Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan? Some sources claiming to be close to Jimmy Fallon began to give surprising leaks about the hidden side of this famous host. According to one source who asked not to be named, Jimmy has actually long been a big fan of Chinese dramas and has watched almost all the works starring Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. Jimmy is actually very interested in Asian culture, especially China. He often watches Chinese dramas late into the night at his house. He even said that Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan's acting really inspired him, said the source. This information was even more shocking when another source revealed that Jimmy had even attended several Chinese entertainment industry events secretly, without media publication. He came to China several times for business, but he actually also used the opportunity to meet some people in the Chinese entertainment industry. He really appreciates the professionalism and dedication of Chinese actors, especially the younger generation like Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan, the source added. Netizens' reactions to this incident were very mixed and created heated discussions on various social media platforms. Many fans of Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan were touched by Jimmy Fallon's empathy, noting that it shows that love and respect for the arts knows no national or cultural boundaries. But on the other hand, there were also those who questioned Jimmy's true motives, whether this was just a publicity strategy or truly from the heart. I never thought that Jimmy Fallon could be that sensitive to see Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan sad. It shows that he truly understands and appreciates them as artists and people, wrote one netizen on Twitter, which was retweeted thousands of times. Meanwhile, another commenter said, "Jimmy Fallon crying for Yijan? This is the crossover I never knew I needed. Respect for him, understanding their pain." But not all reactions were positive. Some netizens also questioned Jimmy's presence at the funeral and thought that his crying was excessive. Why is Jimmy Fallon at Zhu Yuanyuan's funeral? What does this have to do with him? Maybe this is just a drama to attract attention, wrote one account, which then received many pro and con responses. The controversy intensified when some Chinese media began to dig deeper into Jimmy Fallon's relationship with the Chinese entertainment industry. The results of their investigation revealed the surprising fact that Jimmy had apparently communicated several times with Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan's management team, and had even discussed the possibility of collaboration for international projects. This information immediately made headlines in various entertainment media and made speculation even wilder,